Hey guys, it's churches, graveyards and graves. Sometimes saying that. Churches, graveyards and graves. And today I'm at St Helena's in West Leake. And behind me is its wonderful Lych Gate. And the Lych Gate is a grade 2 listed building in its own right. And you can see the wonderful wood structures here. And Lych gates were really important in medieval churches. So they would have brought the coffin and they would have rested it in like a sort of a seat thing at the side. And they would have waited for the priest to come out and meet the funeral cortege. So that's what would have happened. But in later years that kind of stopped. They took the coffin right down to the church and the priests basically let them in. So Lych gates were then made to make a boundary really to the entrance to the church or the holy area, the grounds, the holy grounds kind of thing, the burial grounds. And this is what this Lych gate is. So it's early 20th century, and it's just a beautiful wood structure. So we'll have a look at that. Now, just to tell you something about St Helena's Church, it's basically a modern restoration from 1878. But there is like a 12th century north wall, and you'll be able to see the difference there. So we'll just go and have a look at that as well. So I'm just going to turn it around and show you this fantastic Lych gate. So here we go. So here's the beautiful Lych gate, and what I really like is this wonderful cross on top. That's just absolutely immense, and just this thick wood. And something else the Victorians were into is like this ironwork. They put a big bar across it here. I guess that's to stop the wind like swinging it open, and you know, big clasps and latches, things like this. So I'm just taking you inside just to show you around at the big beams and things like that. So I've brought you down to the east side of the church now. So this is the restoration, and you can see this wonderful tracery window here, and it's got these beautiful doors and windows, but it's not particularly elaborate, and you can certainly see that this has been some sort of like relatively modern restoration. You can sort of tell that by the windows, the way they're structured. And look at this wonderful wall here. So even though it looks a little bit messy, you can see it's relatively flat and parallel. So that shows that it's relatively modern. Another giveaway is the ironwork. Now, I do love Victorian drains. And you can see a typical example of one here. So they still went to town. They loved steel, they loved metal work, and they really took it to a new level. And you can see how elaborate they made these drains. I mean, they're just drains. Well, not like today, we just just plastic rubbish. They actually really made quite elaborate, beautiful drain work. And there's probably a date there, I can't quite make it out, but it's probably like 1898, something like that. So that's really quite interesting as well. So this is the north wall, so we'll have a look at that in a minute, but I just wanted to show you the bells. So sometimes in Victorian times, if they couldn't afford to restore it with a lovely steeple or tower, they would put these bells in, which still denoted, you know, the times of the service. They'd ring these couple of bells, but they weren't proper towers. They were a lot cheaper to build. And they've put one on here, and there's two bells there, and they're made by Taylors of Loughborough, which is a local bell firm, which actually is still in operation. Yes, you can still walk around Taylors of Loughborough. In fact, I've done it, and you can see the bells being made, and they still make church bells to go all over the world. And this is the oldest wall, so I just want to show you the difference here. So you can see the Victorian restoration here, and then you can see the original 12th century medieval wall here. Although obviously you've got that drain, the Victorian drainage, the walls are totally different. So I would say that this is an original Norman window. I'm not sure whether it's original Norman glass, but it's certainly an original Norman window. Very simplistic, and you know, they didn't go to town with elaborate designs like the Victorian period did. Also on this north wall, you have got a devil's door. Now there might have been something else here. There was obviously some sort of surround to this, because you can see obviously where there was some sort of top and pillars, so there would have been a door here originally. But the amount of medieval churches I go to and I see these devil's doors which are bricked up on the north side, so often there was doors here, but to let the devil out, they were very superstitious. They tended to brick them up because the north side was considered to be quite superstitiously bad. So most people weren't even buried on the north side, they were buried on the south side. We have a coffin here, and it looks like I'm not sure how old this coffin is, but they've obviously used it as some sort of planter or something. But now it is definitely an old stone coffin. You can see where the head would have been, so we might have some zombies running about soon. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that little view of St Helena in West Leake, the north wall. There's no markings on it or anything, and it's quite typical really of a Victorian restoration. And then you've got that lovely Lych gate, haven't you, up there, and that's from the 20th century as well. So with all these churches, or most of these churches, to get a pure medieval church is like really rare. Certainly in Britain, when the Reformation came, a lot of the original stuff was destroyed, which is kind of sad really, because if you go to Europe you can see much older things, including much older stained glass. So if you ever go to Europe and see some of their churches, you'll see that. But this is very typical of a lot of churches that have had extensive restoration, but you can still see remnants of history. Yes, you can. So I'll leave it there for this video. I'm going to do one more little one on a few graves in this church, and yeah, so hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. Well, there we go. Please share this video if you like it. Please like and share it, and yeah, I'll see you again soon, guys. See ya.